Boys and girls, ladies and gents, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy Monday to all of you. Short week for the crew. I think all of us are having Thursday and Friday off for America's birthday. It's incredible. 4th of July should be on Thursday every year. It's like Super Bowl on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Super Bowl Sunday, it should be on Saturday. Just make the move happen. Just do it for the country. The country would, it would cure a lot of things. It really would. If you changed 4th of July to be on every Thursday, when it was just a 4-day weekend every single year. Obviously, 4th of July would mess that part up. But you understand my point. And then Super Bowl's Sunday on Saturday. I couldn't imagine the production that the country would provide if that was given. That's my tidbit for the day. Boys and girls, good evening, good to see you. We got a lot to talk about. An interesting graphic came up today. I'm not going to take credit for the numbers. I do enjoy numbers. I wish we had ourselves like a Will Miles type of guy that could crunch the numbers like some of these guys do. They just look at it differently, and I enjoy it tremendously. And I already know what's going to happen. I'm already reading the comments section. Even though I'm probably the most optimistic, positive Gator ever, this show is going to have a little more of a glass half, not a glass half full. I'm already nervous to say it. A more of a pessimistic view of the situation, but it's not even. It's just fact. We're just spitting numbers at you. You can't argue. You can't. Numbers don't lie. And I already see it. You gotta relax. It's July. Blah, 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 blah. Both sides of this is just and too much animosity. You know, when it's just a conversation. Good point. It is July, meaning you do talk about it. You do have conversations about it. So I'm gonna start with that. The thing is, nobody's going to listen. It's not going to even be able to have a healthy conversation. I'm still going to get obliterated with my takes on this because that's just how it rolls. But 180 strong. I love seeing you. Love to have you here on this beautiful Monday. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And let's just dive right into it. Let's dive into first order of business. We got some upcoming events to really string things together for us until we get into football. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. All right, that's how I live my life. This past few months, I went to Disney, then we had our family trip in June, and then something else kind of happened, and now I've been waiting for July 4th. The Zach Bryan album comes out on July 4th. We've got Media Day next, right? There's been a little, just things to keep you chugging along until we get to that football season. So first order of business today. Not only did Texas and Oklahoma join, but it is Bobby Bonilla Day, which, for those who don't know, is the guy that played for the Mets like 600 years ago. He's still getting paid like $1 million every day on today. Incredible day. And it's a shout out to an homage to Steve. That was something we always talked about on the show before he quit. So, little sentimental value there. But look, Texas and Oklahoma joins. We'll be talking about that, get my thoughts and opinions about that. It's been fun and exciting and, I think a lot of people the shit talking has ramped up, which is cool. Then on July 14th, of course, we all know what's going to happen. The College Football 2025 is going to be released. And I really think that's going to be enough to get us to August 31st. Let's be honest. I think that thing's going to take over for at least 2.5 weeks, like full blown. We'll get our fix, right? July 15th through the 18th is SEC Media Days. And I wanted to take a look to see, because last year I realized, they put a lot of value into this week. And when I mean I mean the experts, the announcers, the critics, based on their interviews, their conversations, their one-on-ones with coaches, the players, they get a pretty good feel of how they feel the season's going to go. Now, obviously, it's not just that, but it really feels like they put a lot of stock into these conversations. And it's going to be Texas and Oklahoma's first time there. Sure, there's going to be some shade thrown going those ways. I'm sure Billy's going to give us the driest interview of all time. Can't wait for that. I'm sure Lane will throw some jabs out at anybody who's listening. So should be a good time. That'll give us, that's July, and then August we get football, right? I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. So we've got 30 days. We've got 30 days to be kind of just figure this shit out, It's kind of associated with how we're doing here. And it's going to be here before you know it. So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy our last 30 days together. And let's dig in, let's go. For some good news, let's start some good news. Okay, let's pepper into this thing. Jalen Wiggins, 4-star defensive lineman, has shut down his recruitment. Now, we know how much value that has. It didn't hold much smoke last year, right? We had a couple guys that shut down their commitment, and it didn't really necessarily get shut down at all. So when I see us do it, it excites me. When I see other kids do it, like Tramel Jones, Selma Thomas, guys that we were heavily pursuing, that we felt we had an opportunity to flip, both have now shut down their commitments. It doesn't concern me, right? Because I think, look, anything is still possible. But I think FSU is doing a great job of, hey, locking this shit down. We're not going to chase it. So either shut it down or we're moving on kind of situation. Kudos to them, as they should. But Jalen Wiggins, we had on the show, phenomenal young man. Really excited to see him stick. I know he went to FSU. I think this past weekend there was obviously some mumblings that he could, you know how that works. I mean, it wasn't ever really a scare from our end, but they were working. They were rocking him hard. So good to see that. Some negatives, and we're going to get into a few things here about this recruiting cycle thus far, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions about it. Hilton Stubbs, 4-star safety, recently decommitted from USC, has now been crystal balled to old Miami. And Miami, to their credit, on an absolute burner right now. 17th and on 3 might be a little bit higher. They just landed a 4-star linebacker, doing some good things. And look, as much as we love to hate on Miami and knock on Miami, they're getting some 4-star guys. They're getting them early. They don't seem to be closing late, throwing late bags. Now, people are going to claim they're throwing bags at them now. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Like, if that's the method to the madness and it continues to work, so be it. We can't hate on it. I hate when I see, like, oh, he threw a bag, the kid's chasing a bag. Like, we got to stop that. We can't get frustrated because a school's offering more money than we're willing to pay. Like, that's just the name of the game. Don't hate on the kid for it. We probably all do the same thing. So, here we go. The comment's already here. Why is anyone saying anything about recruiting in July? Yeah, I knew it was coming. Even if you try to preface it, I knew it was coming. We're in this is the heat of the moment. This is when recruiting really kind of takes its toll. The same way last year when we were on an absolute burner, who wasn't excited and dialed in to talk about recruiting? We were off-season champs. That's just what it was. And we got hate from the Miamis and FSUs claiming that, whatever, and now roles have reversed a little bit, right? They're doing well, claiming off-season championships, and we're kind of sitting here like, shit. And to be fair, when we're not winning football games, we enjoy winning the off-season, okay? So, Billy, give us something to work with. That's what we need right now. We need to be some excited about it. And again, I understand it's July, but I'm about to show you some data, and you guys take with what you will, okay? Take with what you will. Shout out to Bud Davis. I didn't do none of this. Bud Davis on Twitter saw this and I go, wow. Really punches you in the mouth here when you break this thing down. So you can't get mad at me. You can't say that I'm being over ridiculous. I'm just simply providing you the data of where we are thus far. And then I'm going to give you my thought and opinion about it. So we've used 39 of 70 official visits. We've used 56% of our official visits. Okay. That's just a number. Nothing there. No big deal. We've had 7 commits out of those 39 visits, 18% success rate. That's closing rate, 18% closing rate. Not great. Like to be in that 30 to 40% range, but we'll continue on. Here's where I start to get a little nervous. Here's where I like to get it dialed in here. 15 have committed elsewhere. Okay? 38% have gone elsewhere. Could we flip them? Absolutely. But you know how that works. It's a little bit harder, right? They've moved on. There was something, they weren't a fan of what we had going on. They moved on. 17 are still uncommitted. So 44% of the people, 17 people that have, come through have not. But let's do the math. We're closing at 18%, right? Let's do 17 times by 18. We'll close 3 based on our track record now. We'll close 3 of the 17 uncommitted. And I think we've done that math. We've kind of did a little bit of the calculator. Showed you the 3 or 4 that we're going to get into those 10 commits. Not everything that we need, but that makes sense. So we'll call it 3 to 4 commits, okay? And here's what I've been talking about too. I haven't had a number to support this. Skill position, wide receiver, 5 out of 22, 23%. Running back, wide receiver, 4 out of 9, 44%. I've said those 2 rooms look phenomenal. Tight end wise, doing a great job. Love where we're at there. Where's the concern? Where's everyone concerned? Where's everyone's concern every single year for the past, I don't know how long? The trenches. We're 2 for 17, 12%. Jalen Wiggins being one of those, so good thing he locked it down. And then the biggest omen of them all. We're 0 for 5 on offensive linemen. And to make it matters worse, they're all committed elsewhere. Okay? Look, we like to play the calculator game. We like to look into the future. Okay? And I got to preface this, I'm not being negative Nancy. I'm not trying to shit on the parade. I know it's July, but we've got questions. We as fans, it's fair to ask questions. It's fair to go, yo. And here's the thing, too. It's FOMO, right? I got major FOMO right now. I'm over here working with the Oregon channel. They're getting 4. They did what we did last year. 4 big-time commits over the weekend. Another 5-star crystal ball to this weekend. Alabama's on an absolute burner. Georgia's on a burner. Miami's doing well. Florida State landed a couple. Sitting around going, Billy, what's up? What's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing, big dog? What's up? Everyone's outside playing. Want to go throw the ball, Billy? You know what I'm saying? Want to go play catch with the boys? What are we doing? Can I go outside now? Can we do it? That's how it feels. That's how I feel. All right? That's how that is. So let's say we got 34 more official visits. And we basically have an 18% commitment rate. So there's another 5 commits. If we were to take 30 more official visits, we're on the likelihood of getting 5, maybe 6 is what that number comes out to. So let's say we close the 18% of the uncommitted. That gets us to about 10. We close the 18 to 20% of the official visit. Now we're sitting at 15. And that's cashing in on all the official visits. Is it time to panic? No, it's July. I understand that. But for somebody who's a big supporter of Billy, that's had a lot of love for Billy, trust Billy. I've said that time and time again, and we'll continue to trust Billy. It's just like a relationship or a friendship. You trust somebody. We all have our levels of trust in somebody, right? You trust this person a lot more because of X, Y, and Z. Something happens, and maybe you lose that trust, and you kind of go a different way. So other people kind of still trust that person. That doesn't necessarily burn them. There's a lot of people that are already burned and already off the ship. We know who they are. I know who you are, and I don't get upset because you're there. I get it. I'm all in. We know where I sit with it. And it's things like these that start to kind of, you lose the trust a little bit because we all know Billy was brought in to recruit. And I highly believe, look, the guy, he's here because of the recruiting class of last year, which was fantastic with the likes of DJ Lagway and LJ McCray, right? That's what we're looking forward to. I think what it boils down to is that when we're sitting here looking at this class and these recruits, they're looking at like the fan base. There's the select few that are committed and that feel confident in what Billy is doing. They trust what he's doing, and they're locked in. That's half of it. The other recruits are probably like the rest of Gator Nation right now. We're gonna have to just wait and see, big fella. Okay, you got a gauntlet of a schedule. That fan base is out to kill. Okay, they're out to murder. And if things don't go the way they need them to go, it's gonna be bloody. It's gonna be bloody, and we preferably would not like to be on that death path there, old Billy. So, look, it's just like anything in life: winning, selling, success, all of it cures all. Right? That's the name of the game. You know that, I know that, and that's what it's really boiling down to. It's gonna come down to this season. We've been saying it forever. But this season carries so much more weight than it has in the past, and I truly believe that, look, this recruiting will work itself out, but I think it's going to be a cold July. Cold July in the sense that we're going to be getting trolled. We're going to be getting our heads batted against the wall from the opposing fan bases. We got a few in here now laughing at us on where we stand currently, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Okay? So, I guess my point is that these numbers are concerning. I get it. It's not over yet. Still got a lot of time. It's July. I get it. I know that. I understand that. You win some games, the money will come. The people will see the success, all those things. However, I even credited and complimented Billy, and I felt that the staff of the guys they brought in this past time, man, quality seems to be higher than the years prior. Maybe we overshot it. Now it looks like we overshot our shot. You know what I mean? So, look, I see some of you guys in here when it gets fixed. That's kind of ultimately where it's at. And, you know, what sucks is because I feel like, I'm always positive, all these things. Like, this isn't to bring it down. This isn't to crush the flow. But I think it's my job to, like, have a reasonable conversation about it, a reasonable dialogue. We all have doubt. Even the most positive person in the world, we have questions. Like, we'd be crazy not to think like that. We'd be crazy not to have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all sit at times and go, man, like, is Billy the guy? So we should be able to have these healthy conversations with immediately just going, F it, whatever. So hopefully hopefully we'll have. What happened to Juicy July? It's a great question, Jim. I still think July will have its juicy parts, but Nashawn Montgomery, I believe he just pushed back his commitment. That was another big one for us. For now, Brown's still set to commit. Hilton Stubb was supposed to be part of this Juicy July. Seems like he's going to be headed a different direction. Juicy July, look, we could still be in for some surprises. And we leave July in the top 15. I'd feel a lot better. But I still would be like, look, Billy's going to have a hell of a close ahead of him. But if they win games, they can close. So, again, I think I'm in this little dark cloud of FOMO because of what happened. We're literally with the last 72 hours with schools that we're just kind of surrounded by. It's like, pew, 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 like another one off the board. And we're just sitting there like waiting to be picked. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude. Am I going to be picked last? What's going on here? So, that's my thoughts on that. Let me take a look at a bit of the comments here. Look, I know some people don't want to hear this, and it's not necessarily the fun, like, woo, let's go get them, let's close them, Juicy July. Y'all know how I am. I'm all about that. But I think it's healthy to look at it as well. Juicy July, me and them boys going to get juices during summer. Let's go. Langanza's another one. Hayward. You guys put way too much thought and effort into a bunch of 18-year-old kids. Like, these comments, it's irritating to me, these comments, because, like, dude, we're literally talking about recruiting. And it's such an easy, like, a flex, in my opinion, to just divvy it up to, like, it's 18-year-old kids. Like, college football is 18 to 22-year-old kids. Like, what are we talking about? We put the same amount of effort into a football game. Like, this is part of the game. Like, it's hard to argue it because, like, you're clearly, like, it's just like a troll comment, in my opinion. Like, we're here to talk about recruiting. This is what this show is about. There was no surprise or secret on what this show is going to be about. My thoughts and opinion about it. I understand it's ups and downs, ebbs and flow, but it's part of the game. The 18-year-olds and 20-year-olds they're on the football field. That's who we care and we cheer for. So I just think it's a dumb comment. Woo. Let's see here. Megan's constantly trolling. This guy's the biggest Gator fan of my entire life. It's unreal. Yeah, exactly, Skrill. At this time, win games equals lock in recruits. Totally agree. Chomp chomp goes Gators. But yeah, good stuff there. Look, so big time news today as well too is we've got some movement in the SEC, boys and girls. Before we talk about that, let's talk about our sponsor for today. High Top Sports is sponsored by BetterHelp. This year's gone by so quickly. What's something you're proud of in 2024 so far? What's something you still want to accomplish this year? When life's going so fast, it's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins, make adjustments for the rest of the year, and therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. That's what you can do with BetterHelp. You take a little test, they assign a therapist based on the questions that you answer to fit your personality, fit on what they feel that you need. If like, hey, this ain't working out, you can change it at any time at no cost. Absolutely fantastic. So happy to be able to team up with BetterHelp. Again, not only to help with just things that you're battling, going through, needing somebody to talk to, but again, setting goals, having an accountability partner, all those fantastic things. So if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So take a moment, visit BetterHelp.com/hightop today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hightop. Good stuff. So let's get into Texas and OU joins the SEC. This was the party going on last night at Texas, and it felt like the aroma around the room from a lot of people, Allie included, again, like, hey, you're a little bro. I know you're coming in. Texas has this big dog. And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this today of Texas. You know, I hate Oklahoma. It's no secret. We know my feelings on Texas. And I'm over here like, well, Texas brings more value than Oklahoma. Where? You know what I mean? Like, when you look, as much as I would love to, like, back it up, Oklahoma dominated the Big 12 over the last decade. This past year, obviously, we know Texas won the Big 12, but basically since never, it's been a long time since Texas was relevant. A very long time. And Oklahoma, as much as it kills me to say, ran the Big 12 for the last decade. I think 8 of the last 10 they won. So obviously they're coming in with some championship caliber. Well, my thought process is like, look, I think these two coming into the SEC is much bigger than when A&M and Mizzou made it. I still feel like we really don't consider A&M and Mizzou part of the SEC. I think Mizzou did a good job of like you're kind of like, all right, you can come sit at the table now. And before these guys come in here, like, how are you gonna talk shit about A&M and Mizzou when you guys were 5-7 last year? Look, dude, if you're gonna say that, you look, stop it. Like, we can all hate one another, but this is a family. And when you've been part of the family for X amount of years, you have your ups and downs, but there's that core family, right? A&M and Mizzou are not part of that core family. That's just a matter of a fact. It's taken them like a decade now. And we're kind of like, all right, we'll claim like you're part of us. You're part of us. I don't, Texas and Oklahoma. Is this weird to be this excited? It's cool for them, right? But they put on like a parade, like this. Paul Feinbaum said it felt like a championship. Like the amount of people, like I think it's really cool. I think it's cool, but I'm like, does it seem weird? Or am I being weird about it? You know what I mean? I think it's cool. It's exciting. If you're Texas, you got to be excited to leave. I can't, like, if this is what Texas does, we leave in the Big 12. FSU's going to blow a gasket when they get to leave the ACC and go to Conference USA. Like, it's going to be nuts for them if this is how Texas is reacting. Look, I've said it. I think it's exciting for the SEC in the sense of like a family of like, yo, like we're just showing that it means more. That's what this tells me too. And again, that's kind of the motto. So that part's cool. But Oklahoma and Texas, in a weird way, may find themselves on the same side at this one. The two schools that hate each other the most, they're now think about it, the cafeteria. Nobody's allowing you to sit at our table. And that's kind of a reference. Not even think about it, but the video that dropped today of like, look, like, y'all ain't sitting with us. It's going to take some time for you to sit with us because they think they're going to come in. Obviously, Quinn Ewers comes out with his comment about we're everybody's Super Bowl. It's like, look, dude, it's a different ballgame. We've always preached that over here in the SEC. And I truly believe that Texas and OU are in for a rude awakening. I really do. And that's part of, I think, why OU kind of always is, the credit has never really been there because when they were dominating the Big 12, it just felt like the Big 12 really didn't matter anyways, right? Because when they were dominating the Big 12, wasn't really translating like that either. So Texas is like that hot stepsister. That's a really good analogy, right? Like, that's a good one. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to make it weird, but it's a hot stepsister. You're like we'll take you in. Like, you're not like, we don't like love you like a sister, but like you're hot, so we'll kind of allow it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine. Like, OU's not the hot stepsister, although again we've kind of agreed that there's more success there. Texas just kind of brings. They're sexier. They're a bigger brand. They've got recent biasy. They've done well over the last few years, and that's kind of what we all remember. That's what's kind of running on our mind right now. Nobody ever likes for OU to be good. You know what I mean? I don't think if OU's good, I don't think we're like, yeah, OU. It's just not exciting. It's not sexy. That's a good one. I think that's perfect. I think Clint might have had a stepsister that might have got him twitching a different way. That's my thought on it, but we'll see. The SEC is a super big deal, and that's, I think, the biggest. I think that's the cool part of it is the SEC now is just huge. And look, I think Texas is going to, capitalize like this, J Money, be able to capitalize the SEC, being part of the SEC and their recruiting. It's going to be huge there. Stepsister is crazy. It's a wild analogy, but it's spot on. I came back at the stepsister part. I don't know what's going on. It's the SEC, so you never know what you're going to get. What does that make OU, the weird uncle who asked for more money at family gatherings? That's a good one. I don't hate it because I hate OU. So I don't mind labeling OU into that category. But look, I think, like I said, A&M, in my opinion, I don't really take them at the seat. I think Mizzou earned my respect this past year. Eli Drinkwitz, I think he's done a great job. In a weird way, they were like the nerdy brother that we never thought that would even be possible to be there. You know what I mean? Like, think about it like this. You got a group of guys, boys are all hanging out. Two new kids come in. A&M's the cocky prick that walks in and it's like, thinks they're going to just come right in and be everybody's friend. And we're like, no, you're not going to be. Mizzou's the nerdy little dude. It's like, look, I'm just whatever. I'm just going to mind my business and just grind away at it. And then eventually you look over and it's like, Mizzou's been going to the gym for the last couple of years, kind of yoked, looks good. It's like, yeah, he's cool now. But A&M's always a prick. But now he's just been there for so long, it's like, yeah, he's part of us. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at A&M. In Texas and OU, it's like, dude, we just got used to these two twats. So we're not quite ready to accept you yet, right? But me, I'm the guy in the group. It's like, look, like one big family. Our table just got a little bit bigger. It is what it is. I think it's going to be fun. OU is the inbred sister. All right, I like that better. OU is the hot overweight stepsister. Bro, we're just obliterating OU. I love it. Oh, man. This is fun. This is so fun. It's going to be interesting to see Mizzou whips our ass every year. That's what I'm saying. Mizzou's kind of just, they're the guy that's been practicing. They were the guy that was just hitting off the tee every single year, and we just kind of were just lingering along, thinking we had all the skills to get it done, while Mizzou just kept hitting, kept throwing balls off the wall. And all of a sudden they show up one summer throwing 98. You're like, where the hell did that come from? You know what I mean? That's where it is. Here we go. When Texas A&M first entered Johnny Manziel, it set the standard for that program. If Texas does the same, that's going to be completely nasty over college football. Look, I think Texas has a really big opportunity to be the brand that they've always felt that they are. The claim for A&M being a big brand is always been weird to me. Like when that job opened up, they're like, it's the hottest job in college football because of the oil money. It's never been attractive to me. I think they have a great program, but I just don't find it as attractive as the Texas job would be if that were to open up. So, look, I think it's great. Things would be fun for all sports. I think the SEC could break off and just exist on their own, and we'd be just A-okay. Go let the ACC throw fits with one another. Then you see the Pac-12. It's like Oregon State and Washington State just getting it done. Not quite sure how that's going to all play out with their schedule. They're in a way like Notre Dame now. It's like basically independent. So, A&M about to be the new Vandy. And like Vandy's like just bottom of the barrel. But if you're like, hey, you got to get rid of a school, Vandy, I'm never getting rid of Vandy. They're just like, no. Like, they're the ride or die. Like if I've got a list of like cutoffs, obviously A&M's first, then OU. Actually, it'd be OU, then A&M. After that now, I like Texas. So you guys know where I stand on Texas. I mean, Mizzou grew on me. Can't get rid of Kentucky. Arkansas? I would dump Arkansas. I mean, that's probably not a good thing. They've been there for a while, but like, I don't know. Gets personal. You know? OU's the ugly stepmother. Bro, just obliterating OU. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. OU is a stepsister you don't want stuck in the dryer. This is incredible. At least, hey, shout out to Clint for the stepsister analogy. At least I think we're all in agreement of what stepsister OU is. Like, we all agree with the Texas one. We're like, yeah, that's about right. That's about right. But OU, like, there's just so many variables of how stank she can be, you know? And that's what I love about the SEC. Like, there's times where we all hate each other and, like, disagree. But we can all find moments, like, when we all want to agree on hating somebody, we can all come together like family. And be like, yeah, I agree. Jackson, I just want a winning season. You and me both, Jackson. You and me both, my man. Well, look, guys, hopefully, I mean, some people are probably already got all irritated with, you know, the stuff about recruiting. And again, I think it's, I wouldn't be, here's how I look at this. Let me go into a little soapbox moment. It's weird how you grow a relationship with the chat. Coming on here every single week, a couple times a week. I've met some of you. I've never met any of you, just simply by an avatar. You carry a voice with you, a natural, organic voice that I've created in my own head for you. We're weird, just unorthodox family. And so I think sometimes you got to have a family meeting. You got to sit down and be like, look, I think things are going great, but I think, we've got to have a conversation about what's happening here and really kind of give my thoughts and opinions about it. And I don't feel like I'd be a good family member if I didn't tell you, hey, this concerns me a little bit because of X, Y, and Z. I'm not jumping ship. I'm not going to go find a new family. I'm not going to leave you guys here, right? Like, that's the whole point of being open. And I think, if anything, that I've shown over the time that you guys have watched, I keep it a buck. I do my best to keep it a buck. I do my best to be as transparent as humanly possible. Because what you see is what you get. Like I don't close this shit down and I'm something different. Like that'd be too exhausting. This is where I'm at right now. This is how I'm feeling about it. And if I try to just come on here and like make some shit up, I just need to be stupid. So I always run the risk of upsetting people when I talk a certain way or do a certain thing. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I appreciate you guys though. I do. I really do. Anybody you picture with Darth Vader voice, Sheldon? No. Good question though, but no. I can't have it. I mean, look, I'm probably judging wrong sometimes when I put a voice behind the avatars. You know? Like Bag and Megan, it's like a photo of him and his daughter. I imagine he's kind of like this like big old bumpkin. You know what I mean? Shirt's a little bit too small, probably. Belly sticking out. He hasn't quite, accepted the fact that he's 20 pounds over, weight over the last 10 years. He's smashing like an old duels or something right now. And he's cocky. George is doing well. Fired up. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Joshua Durrett says, what about the Gator Cruise? So there was a thing dropped today. And I just got off cruise, obviously. Wife and I talked about it. Probably going to wait a little bit to be going on a cruise. But then this Gator Cruise dropped for February like 15th through or 14th to the 17th. And I was like, yo, that's a business expense. Like literally, right? Like if the fam's going and you make it like a thing, like there's like some value behind going on that. It's actually really, really cool. It's dumb expensive for 4 days because it's Royal Caribbean, but it's their brand new ship. And I was like, yo, this could be kind of dope, bro. Like go on there, buy the Wi-Fi package, really try to make this thing work, do a show, meet up with people. Like it would be really, really cool. I don't know how much value is behind it, like if they're going to advertise it the right way. But I texted the wife, I go, this might be a possibility here. Like this would be a really cool thing to go do. Yeah, I highly consider it today. I was in the checkout line. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Which doesn't take much. It's not like it's that hard to get to the checkout line, but I went through it like to give me an idea. Like, all right, what's this going to cost? And the ship's beautiful. It's brand new. So show for president. I appreciate it. I think that is that's a lot of work that I'm not ready for. Oh man, Woodford Reserve makes the best old fashioned. I mean, from left field, Terry, but I disagree. I love Woodford, but I'm a Buffalo Trace guy. But yes, high top family forever. Go Gators, and the astronauts go on the flying pig. Absolutely, Levi. Appreciate you, big dog. Let's see here. It should be fire. Maybe some players hop on. I mean, dude, it would be great. I think there's like a really big opportunity there. We're in rambling status now, boys, so go ahead and fire up your comments if you like. Florida Victorious has made some changes. And with how they're operating, things like that, my connection, that's kind of went away for the time being. I was wondering because we hadn't seen, like, remember last year, like all the graphics came out when we signed them back on. And when I was talking to my connection, she was like, look, we haven't signed anybody back yet. Not saying they're not going to, but there's been some changes because of that new law of the pay-to-play thing. So, and what's funny, I was thinking about it today, the first graphic drop, Marcus Mascall signed. So we'll see if more are to follow, but we'll see. Keena Johnson says, $5, love y'all, all that you do. Thank you, Keena, I appreciate it. Larry Cox, this is funny. Larry Cox yells at me all the time for drinking the Kool-Aid. He's the one that coined the phrase Juicy July. And I feel like he's back on the Kool-Aid train because he's being very optimistic here. When we're 5-0, get a top 5 class, facts. And look, I agree. I think it's this class carries a lot of weight on how the season goes, which we haven't been in that world the last couple of years. Old Sniper here, been so negative lately, but he did say best show of the year. So I appreciate that. But he said all Billy Napier's failing. And this guy would have heart-to-hearts in the middle of the season. Like when we're down in the dumps. This man goes to every game and we'll chit-chat. And he's like, look, man, I still believe in Billy. The boys are bought into Billy. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know what went south with him, but hopefully he can have a turnaround year. Lane into UF in 2025. That man ain't leaving Eugene, bro. That boy's cooking out west. It's unbelievable. How many people does the ship hold? A shit ton, Terry. It's brand new. I don't think it hasn't even sailed yet. I think the first sail is like in 2 weeks, I believe. But it's a big one. It's a big one. It's the Oasis class. It's gorgeous ship. Gorgeous ship. Added a lot of cool features to it. It's absolutely beautiful. Like it'd be a really cool time to go to. Really cool time. Thank you, sir. I'll have another. I love it. Well, boys, Wednesday should be a good show. We're going to be suiting up in the overalls. It's going to be the 4th of July show. So go time. Go Gators, almost time. Time Boys High Top is the best pod on YouTube. I appreciate it, JT. I appreciate you guys always showing love and support, though. You know what I'm saying? It means a lot. It really does. A lot of great podcasts out there. So if you guys consider me into that company, means the absolute world to me. It really does. Miami, the biggest regular season game since. Ooh, look at Trey here. Good question. I don't know, man. I feel like, oh, God, biggest. I mean, oof. Those Utah games last year were pretty huge, but this game's bigger than that, right? So since Miami, the biggest regular season game since. I mean, I would say, I guess. I would say, though, that first Utah game was huge. Maybe more because of how the outcome turned out. But I'm trying to think, man. The games kind of start getting a little mesh. You can put a couple of LSU games in there. Florida's been a weird place, I think, the last couple of years. So, like, Auburn game in 2020. That Tennessee game last year was pretty big, right? Like, the momentum going into it, like, it was a big turning moment, given the fact that we lost to Utah. FSU last year was a big one. Yeah, I feel like, look, I mean, Florida, there's always a game in a season that's just absolutely nuts. You know, Kentucky? No, I don't believe that. I like those options that we gave, though. But was it 2019 or FSU every year? Yeah, last year was big. Just because of, again, you win that game, make a bowl, you crush FSU's hopes. So the hype, I agree, that going into that game was pretty massive. Pretty massive. The Ole Miss game a few years back. I mean, look, it's great. That's what's so fun about Florida football. Like, this, and that's what I'm excited about this season. Like, every game has that potential to be just absolutely massive. Like, College game day, like, outside of that one weekend where it's like, we play Tennessee, I think Oregon plays Ohio State, someone plays Penn State. Like, there's like, I've shared it. Like, it's a massive football weekend. Like, we don't make the cut for college game day on that weekend. But, like, every other weekend, like, you got to think Florida is going to be in the mix. Florida, Texas is going to be in the mix. Florida, Georgia is going to be. Granted, it depends on how Florida's season goes. But if the season goes like we would love it to go, and obviously we think Georgia and Texas are going to go those ways, like, they're going to be in the conversation, which is kind of crazy to think. Blocked field goal against South Carolina. That was a big game, but I was thinking more like the hype before the game. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily the results, but the hype before the game. So that there's kind of two different things, right? The outcome is one. Like, South Carolina last year, Rookie P was massive. I mean, that was a big ass game. That was fun. Right? That was wild. So good stuff, man. Good stuff. We've got obviously today and then tomorrow. Nothing going on tomorrow as of now. Wednesday show should be fun. There's a lot of commits happening on Wednesday. I don't think we're in the mix for a couple of them. I don't know if we land anybody, but we are on the table for some guys on July, not Wednesday, July 4th, the day after. So you guys have a good July 4th, though. I mean, we'll see you on Wednesday, but it's a good weekend to have a good time. I'm excited for it. I mean, my favorite holiday of the year. Blow some stuff up, drink some booze, and sing the national anthem. Oh, Chris Stapleton from the Super Bowl a couple years back. That's the go-to jam. We rock the national anthem before I shoot off fireworks, play it on the big speaker. Everyone stands up, hand on the chest, looking at the flag in the front yard. That's what we do around here in the ranch. I get the whole neighborhood to do it too. Don't get it twisted. Hey, line up. Doing the national anthem. It's good stuff. I got that from when I was a kid. We were on the beach, and I'm like 6, 7, maybe 8. Who knows? And this drunk dude, I'm talking absolutely just a obliterated. Comes up. And he's like, everybody stand up. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm like, yeah. Oh. I know. I do the national anthem. I spice it up a little bit. All right. Like, no need for us to do the Pledge of Allegiance. So we all do the Pledge of Allegiance. This guy goes and puts up in some mortars. Puts the bitch upside down, bro. Swear to goodness. Hand to Jesus. Explode. We got fireworks on the ground. Absolute mayhem. Best 4th of July ever. I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. But the Pledge of Allegiance obviously turned into the national anthem. I've been doing it ever since. We're going to pass it down to the family. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. Got any good cigars you can plan on smoking, bro? Man, I used to love a good cigar, man. But I feel like now when I smoke one, it like kills me for like 3 days. Coughing up like 6 lungs. And I got 2 of them. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. But I appreciate you boys hopping in here. Smash the like button. Subscribe. This show went way longer than anticipated. But let's see. You made the cruise to happen. I'll bring you a bottle of Elmer T. Lee. Look, Terry, I will... we got time. We've got time to make it happen. But I gotta really sleep on it. The reason I think I'm hesitant is because of the kid. He wasn't allowed to do a lot because he's still in a diaper. So if he's in a diaper, he can't go into he can only go into one little pool. So if we can potty train him, and I know hey, we plan to have him potty train over the next few months, then I know that he'll be able to go in all the big kid stuff that I know that he was trying to get into last time. We were very locked into what we could do. 4 days is perfect. It's not as long. Last time was kind of long. It was kind of like a lot for us to get out with the kid, like just breaking a habit. I think 4 days would be perfect. Like it's kind of like the sweet spot. I think the only thing really holding us back, price is a little egregious, but for the fam. So we'll see. Stubbs got that Gator juice in him. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping we see something, a miracle on 4th of July. Bring it home, boys. Bring it home. We'll see. New ship equals Titanic. Good stuff. Boys, I love you. 40 minutes.